Hola, Mia Pratt here, and welcome to my blog. For those of you who've been following along, you have some idea of what's going on from the writings I've been posting. And for those of you who haven't, welcome to the blog. I'm broadcasting from a remote Indian village in central Mexico. This is my cabana, and this is where I'm living for some undetermined length of time. So I've been here about a month now, and it's been quite an awakening for me to go through the culture shock of leaving Arizona and living in such primitive conditions. Living without plumbing and with just enough electrical to have a single light and to charge my electronics isn't as big of a stretch as you would think. I've done it many, many years ago, many times, but not for a while. So anything that we don't do for a while it becomes a challenge to relearn the things that we have forgotten and to learn the new things that we never knew. So the last broadcast, I really talked about why I was why I had come here, and there were so many different reasons. But I think the primary reason that I've zeroed in on was wanting to feel a sense of connection to the people around me that was somewhat lacking in my life. I have great friends and loved ones in Arizona, but aside from that small little circle of people, I really didn't have a sense of community there. And over time, it left me wanting to pursue that, to find some way to meet people and connect with people at a deeper level, a level where it's beyond being polite, it's beyond just saying hello, having polite conversation, having a lunch once in a while. And what's really fascinating about what I've learned is that as much of my seeking was about what I wasn't maybe finding in other people, ended up, of course, being about me. And that's the process of personal transformation. That's why we do this. And that's one of the ways I like to use my creativity beyond painting and artwork, beyond writing, my book or any of those things that are a manifestation of my creativity. Because I can't live the life I want if I'm not sure what I want. And if I don't know who I am and what my purpose is, how can I create something that will satisfy that? So coming here was a way to just find out, who am I when I get out there in the world, minus all of my things, minus all of these things that sort of define who I am. My painting, my Artists Guild in Scottsdale, my writing, the column that I write, all of these things that sort of define who I am. When those things are gone, there's something left. So what a tremendous reward for having to give up so many things I love to come here. My dog, Mr. Big, my sweetheart, my big white Labrador, Jake. My goodness, a month without my dog is like a year. And my daughter and my friends and all the business activities and clients I have. It's a lot to leave that, not just for a vacation, but to leave it, as in perhaps never going back. So while I do intend to go back, the longer I stay, the more I realize maybe I'll go back, but it won't be going back. I am going to go forward with the life and the person I am now. And if in going forward I should end up in Arizona again, that's great. But there will be and can be no going back, because the life I had before and the life I lived before is a hologram now. It's a memory. And who I am now and the life I'm living now has replaced it. And a month is a pretty rapid, short amount of time for that to happen. But when you're thrown into something like a primitive Indian village, time doesn't have the same constraints. You have nothing to do but think and search and experience and be present. And so it's almost like I took a year and encapsulated it into a month. And because of that, I can't imagine what the next month's going to bring. I just can't imagine how much further I can go than I've gone, because I've gone further than I've ever gone. So I feel it's almost like I have a blindfold on, and I'm out here in a little life raft in the ocean, and I'm saying, what is on the next horizon? On the one hand, I know it's more of the same, but on the other, I know it's all just waiting to unfold. That is a wonderfully fulfilling thought, that life is exciting again, and life is alive again, and I am alive again. And I remember who I am, I think, is what's most rewarding, to remember who I am and also be discovering who I am, as if there are these two separate people, a shadow on your left and a shadow on the right, and they merge together, and you're surprised by what you see, because we don't really know ourselves as much as we think we do until everything's taken away. And then we discover, am I afraid? Am I a fearful person? Am I a courageous person? Am I a happy person? Am I a complainer, or am I a high-maintenance person? And I think what's been nice to discover is that I am a courageous person, and I'm also a fearful person. I've had to face my fears. If you've been reading the blog, you have probably heard about the bats incident and the iguana incidents, and how these things, and the goat herding incident, which has nothing to do with fear, but these things that happen that slap us, wake us up, and we realize, I'm in a brand new place. I'm not familiar with these creatures. I'm not familiar with these people. I don't know what's going to come out in the dark while I'm asleep. And you theoretically think about those things, but when you're in it, and you have to pull down a mosquito netting at night, and you're looking through the cracks in the cabana walls and saying, those are an inch wide. What's going to come crawling in here tonight? You really have to face your fears. And my first night in the cabana, I really had to face them, because I was a woman alone in a cabana in a foreign country. All this activity going on around me because it was a big celebration. And I locked my door, I locked my window, but I laid in bed thinking, what the heck was I thinking? Scorpions and tarantulas and snakes and, iguanas and crocodiles and things you can't see and things you don't even think about. And people, I don't know these people. I don't know, are there bad people around? Am I in the hood of the Indian village? Or am I in the happy community center? We don't know. So we have to explore our fears and then face them and then see who we are. And it's nice when you face them and recognize it's okay to have fears. It's how you react to them and how you process them and how you work through them that tells you who you are. And when you put yourself in a situation where you can't leave, I suppose I could have gotten up the next day and said, I'm out of here, but it's a very, very, very long road. In the back of your mind, you're not going to do that. You're going to have to suck it up and work through it. And every time you do, every time you overcome some little fear, it's a wonderful feeling.